ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Happy hump day.
Now, why am I stalling? Hold on one moment.
Yeah, no problem.
We should be live. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
We should be live. For some strange reason, I have a delay. I don't know why I have a delay, so I hope you can piggyback and pick it up, Cassandra, on your end.
I wonder why.
For some strange reason, I have a delay. I don't know why I have a delay, so I hope you can piggyback and pick it up, Cassandra, on your end. Let me put these headphones on. Maybe that'll help because I hear some reverb. Technology.
Yes. Hang on just a moment while we get it together. Did you all know I do sing as well? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There it is. All right. Well, welcome to this edition of Office Hours with Lanora. I am Lanora, your host, and I have a special guest here with me today, Miss Cassandra Sneed, my sister friend, as well as I call a top producer in this business. And she is a member, a broker extraordinaire, I want to say, with Exit Strategy Realtor. And today we're going to speak about, with Cassandra, on becoming a top producer. Now, let me give you guys a little bit of insight and a little background on Cassandra. She's going to try to tell you she's not a top producer, but she is. Okay. Number one. Number two, I know this lady to have personally closed almost everything that she touched in the month of September of last year and closed with approximately a little over 20 grand in her bank. I'm telling her business because she ain't gonna get nobody a dollar on nothing but me. Okay. Last but not least, Cassandra is a sweetheart. She is a top producer, has to be someone that can follow up, and her attention to detail and her ability to connect and follow up is above the most highest that I've ever seen in this business. She is the great Cassandra Sneed. So I want you all to give her a round of applause for joining us. She's going to share some insight on becoming a top producer.
Thank you. So I feel like obviously we're family, and Chicago Association of Realtors is my family. Thank you to Lenore Tolliver for that warm and welcoming introduction. Where's Miss Cass? I'm glad you asked. Thank you all so much for joining. This is your girl, Miss Cass of Exit Strategy Realty, your neighborhood realtor, truly connecting you to the community through real estate. And it is a wonderful day to talk about careers in real estate. So I'm here, I'm open, I'm transparent, I'm answering any questions. No question is too private. So you have the floor, Miss Lanora. Let's go.
All right. So let's talk about some questions that I've put together for
Okay.
you to answer for myself as well as the joiners, my viewers. My first question to you, Cassandra, is tell me a little bit about what caused you to choose a career in real estate?
Wow, good question. My path into real estate has been a 10-year plus journey. As a former investor, in 2006, I purchased my first two-flat building on the west side of Chicago in K-Town, 1531 South Kenneth. Had not any knowledge of what I was getting myself into. And unfortunately, in 2007, I was going through a short sale. And I say that because that was probably one of the most pivotal moments in my real estate journey, because I sat at this closing table and I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to give up my building that I've worked so hard for. There was a moment of shame. I'll just be transparent. A lot of people didn't know what I had been through. But in that same moment, I looked across the table and I heard something say, you can be the head or you can be the tail. Pick your poison. Like, what do you want to do? And so it really made me think about how many buyers come into this industry uneducated, not knowing what should be done, not having an exit strategy, because it's not always going to work out in our favor as buyers. And one of the things that I thought about was, I need to know the ins and outs of real estate transactions.
Right.
It became a personal mission for me, and that was really my reason for going into real estate. I finally got licensed in 2017 after going to 3 real estate schools within a 10-year process. And that's really why I take this to heart, because I was once an uneducated buyer, and I
Wow.
just choose not to share that theme with buyers coming to the market. And some buyers I've had to let go of because they haven't trusted that process. But I'm in it for the long haul. I don't want you to turn around 12 months later and you be sitting in a short sale. So that's really what pushed me into real estate, losing my first building.
I'm so happy that you share that personal experience, because that's what got me in real estate as well, is a bad transaction
Yes,
that I didn't go with. But I also knew that I could do better for
yep,
others. So that's what propelled me into the industry. You have, I don't like to call your alter ego because it's who you are. And it's this where's Miss Cass person. She is a whole entity in herself on social media, you guys. So, if you want to follow Cassandra, she'll put her tag and information out shortly.
yes.
But tell us a little bit about a day in the life of Where's Miss Cass?
Absolutely. So I can just explain to you, I'll just give you my day today. Today I woke up, I had to answer emails about 7 o'clock is usually when I start answering emails. I like for my clients to have an update before they have to reach back out to me and say, hey, you heard anything, or you got a follow up. So we have a power hour that we use in our office. And that's where we really use that hour to touch our clients. So my 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock is really my power hour. 8 to 9 is pretty much maybe just any additional follow-ups that I need to do. I had to do a walkthrough with the seller today in Riverdale. They're thinking about putting their property on the market. Unfortunately, they started work on it and the Village of Riverdale drove by and they saw the work that was being done without permits. And so now that has been placed on hold, and now they're actually going to Riverdale, the Village of Riverdale, to figure out how to, obviously they might have to pay some fines. So they got fined yesterday. This literally all just happened within 24 hours. So I did that today, still walk through. They have a tenant in their unit right now. Came back to the office, started working on my listing strategy. And I've been driving for dollars. So I took 2 hours to drive for dollars. And that is basically just looking at buildings that look dilapidated, trying to seek out the owner, trying to be a resource, give them some different options. And if those options don't work, the last and final option is to put it on the market, since it's a seller's market. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm finishing up with you all. Well, I'm finishing up my afternoon here with you all. So
Right.
that's a typical day.
So you mentioned a seller's market. Tell me a little more about how the seller's market has impacted your business.
Oh, wow. So I would say from a listing perspective, it has caused us to, in the past, pre-COVID, we may have had 1 or 2 offers on one listing that we post to the market. On average, we are seeing 5 to 7 offers on one listing. Some owners or some buyers willing to pay 35,000, 25,000 over list price. Earnest money is another thing that's really changed. Earnest money was usually like 1%. Earnest money on my recent listing that I just got under contract, they are putting down $18,000 in earnest money. So it is extremely competitive right now for buyers. It's a very frustrating season for our buyers. And as a real estate agent, being on both sides of that spectrum, assisting sellers and buyers, I've had to help buyers understand the strategy behind getting their offers accepted and making that seller feel like that's a satisfactory offer. Some buyers have not been able to adjust, and so they've decided to kind of stand down this season. Others have not trusted the process, and unfortunately, their offers have been looked over as sellers look at more competitive offers.
So Cassandra, help me to help the people that are considering starting a career in real estate, those that have already started a journey in real estate, and even those like yourself, the seasoned individuals that are in real estate. Give me some tips, some tricks, something to help my viewers understand how to become a top professional. Let's go with quote unquote professional.
Please,
Professional
that part.
top
Yes.
producer in this business.
I think it's really just about doing what you say you're going to do, being a professional of your word, understanding that going into real estate, when you go into the school and you go into class, that is to teach you how to not be inside of the court system. That is to teach you real estate law. When you come out of real estate school, you have to have a strategy on who you're going to be. What is your brand? How does it look? How will you identify with your audience? So there has to be an entire training strategy around getting you acclimated to real estate. I read in the newspaper the other day that the Chicago Public Schools are getting ready to lay off 400 teachers. So I appeal to some of them. If this is, you're teaching, you're educating, this would be an awesome transition into a career that you can call your very own. You can still teach, you can still educate if that's really what feeds your spirit. And you can do that in a way that helps to build up your community and the people that are around you that will allow you to lead them in this way. So I think it's an awesome opportunity if you're someone that's exhibited leadership abilities, you want to know more about your community, you will not understand about these communities the way that a realtor understands. We are pounding the pavement. I go to several communities in one day. You know the ins, you know the outs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You meet the owners, you meet the business owners. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Let me ask you a question because I think we have a question from Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl, how are you?
Hey, Cheryl.
Cheryl has a question. What do you think about buyers writing letters to the sellers?
So actually, it is illegal for buyers to write letters to sellers because you cannot disclose personal information or any information that is protected. And Lanora can actually share a little bit more about that as well, because we've seen and we've heard that is something that at one point was encouraged. We highly discourage it. We do not want you to present anything to the seller that could be used against you. So I actually do not recommend that.
I have a couple of some feedback going on. So I'm going to ask you, Cassandra. Thank you, Cheryl, for that question. Let my next question to you is in reference to your extracurricular activities, especially being thoroughly engaged and plugged into your real estate association. You are a member of the Chicago Association of Realtors.
Yes.
Tell us of what or how important it is to participate and be active in your association and some of the things you're doing with the association.
Absolutely. One thing that is so extremely important is to understand your audience. Your audience is your community, and being a part of the Chicago Association of Realtors, being a member of the 77 Diversity Group, that allows me to really be boots on the ground in some of the communities that I serve. I literally came back from vacation on June, I want to say the 9th. I think the next day I was boots on the ground with Neighborhood Housing Services, Alderman Roderick Sawyer from the 6th Ward, picking up paper, cleaning Emmett Till Bridge. For me, that is what community is about. And these connections and the ability to get in front of some of these elected officials to really talk about our plans for revitalization cannot happen if you are not a part of an organization that is known. And the Chicago Association of Realtors is an organization that is identified and known nationally, even internationally. So it was only right, and it was an organic move to be a part of the Chicago Association of Realtors. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'm getting my feedback is going crazy today, y'all. I'm sorry. But Cassandra, thank you for being such a sweetheart with this. I know that we're passing along some tips and tricks and
Yes.
reasonings on why you became a top producer. Can you take us back to that month of September of 2020 and give us just a little insight on how or what you did to be effective in successfully closing as many transactions as you did? How many transactions was it?
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly how many, but I will say that that was my $1 million plus month in gross commission. And that was a culmination of really building relationships, impeccable follow-up. The few months prior to that, you know, I was a little bit lost when I heard that the city was shutting down. Everything was shutting down, you know, and for a moment we thought real estate was going to shut down, but then it was deemed an essential activity, so an essential business. But at one point we were all trying to figure out how we were going to pivot to this virtual world that a lot of my clients are not familiar with. So I had to really find myself. I had to get myself out of that. It was like a mental funk, because I am an extrovert. So I feed off of other people's energy. I'm very physical. I love to hug. So for me, it was a culture shock. After I identified that that was not something that I would be able to do just from a safety standpoint, I just really started focusing on educational seminars. I partnered with Neighborhood Housing Services for a few seminars. I've partnered in the past with Greater Chatham Initiative. I've partnered with other professionals in the industry, such as home inspectors, attorneys, and just Zoom became my best friend. So in doing that, I created a following of interested buyers. And a few of those buyers came from the trolley tours that I was doing with Neighborhood Housing Services because I'm one of their dedicated realtors. So a lot of my sales were a combination of that, but also just work that I had put in 6 months, even a year prior.
So it's not something that you did overnight.
Oh,
You put the work in, you grind,
yes.
you made sure that your follow up, and even those individuals that weren't ready to actually take on a transaction, you maintain communication with them, because everything
Absolutely.
won't close instantaneously.
No.
So your follow up, again, attention to detail, that's what I speak about. And when I think of you, that's the first thing that comes to mind. So
Thank you.
kudos for all that you do. Now, you
Thank
mentioned the trolley tours. Tell me
Yes.
more about you working as a part of the Chicago Association of Realtors 77 Diversity Committee.
Yes.
How that plays a role into your business.
Oh, that plays an extremely big role. I mean, last year we saw a community uprising like we had never witnessed before in my time of living in the city of Chicago. But again, instead of trying to create excuses or trying to hide behind some of the violence and some of the really some of the uprising, the 77 Diversity Club members of that group, we were boots on the ground, helping to board up windows, helping to build relationships with businesses that have been impacted. We created an entire fund for businesses so that we can help them restore some of the normalcy to their businesses, because it was an entire community interruption. And being a part of the 77, that was only possible because of the members of 77 speaking and saying, we need to do more. We need to get out in this community, and our communities need us. And that's really when I think of the 77, I define it as 77 communities just coming together for one common goal. And that's really what it is.
All right. Tell me 2 questions and then we're going to be done because I know your time is very important. That's one thing I know about Cassandra. She knows the value of her hour.
Yes.
The second to last question I have for you is, what is one tip that you could give just off the top of your head for someone considering a career in real estate or maybe in the class already? What's one tip that you'll give to them to help them be successful in their journey?
Mentorship.
Oh, I felt you were going to say that.
Mentorship. Yep.
Okay.
I would be remiss if I didn't call out the people that have helped me to get myself in order. Marky Lemons Ryo, Mr. Zeke Morris, the godfather of real estate, and why a lot of us are able to do what we do, Mr. Frank Williams. Oh my God, Nick Liebert, our office owner, Eve Benson, our managing broker, my daughter, Deja, some of the people that have seen me in my worst, but have also been able to help me get to my best.
So do I hear you speaking of those people that have motivated you and inspired you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But
you
know what,
a big role in your business too.
Absolutely. But you know what? They also held me accountable because I'm not going to always get to every email. I'm not going to always do everything that I say. And when I don't, I have those accountability buddies to hold me to say, listen, you need to take a break. You need some additional assistance. I see you lacking a little bit. And I think that's what really has made me successful. And it will continue to make me successful because the mentorship that I have. I'm meeting with Marky this Friday just to talk about where I'm taking the rest of this season, where I'm taking the rest of 2021, and we're already planning for 2022. So that's important to have a mentor that will help guide you throughout this process.
I want to thank you because I personally had the experience of not only working with you, being in classes with you, but you referred one of the most precious gifts that you have been given to us at the Realtors Real Estate School, and me in particular. And I just want to thank you for that because now this is a generational thing for you. Yes. Here comes Miss Deja Sneed Harris, your daughter. And now she's newly licensed, and may I say passed on the first attempt.
Hello.
But how does that make you feel knowing that she is now pounding the pavement with you?
Oh my God. So as a teenage mom at 17, dropping out of high school, to now be sitting at the table with the one person that they felt was getting ready to stop my life. And we're just getting started. We're just getting warmed up. I mean, I think it's an absolute honor, but it's also a testament to staying focused, a testament to not always doing things the right way, but still having the faith to keep going. So I'm excited to have her as a partner.
Cassandra, I don't know how to tell you thank you. If I could get one of those little helicopters to pull the banner to say thank you, I would. But
thank you.
I'd rather take you somewhere and do something with you. But okay. I thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here for us, sharing with my office hours family.
Thank you.
I bless your business in so many ways, because I know your energy, your positivity, as well as coupled with some hard work, sky's the limit. So what I need you to stop doing from this point on, when I say, Cassandra, you're a top producer, stop telling me, no, I'm not. But you are, because you know that there's power in your words.
This is true. I think my thing is, and I think what's also made me successful is I don't chase the money. I just go with what feels right. And I think that's the way that I've continually been blessed. I turn down clients a lot of times too, if the energy is off, if I don't like their vision. I turn down investors if what they're saying about a community doesn't make sense. It doesn't go with my mission and my purpose. So that's it.
I thank you, sis. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Office Hours with Lanora. Thank my audience for joining. Cassandra, if people have a way on social media to communicate with you, what would be your handle?
Yes, so you can actually find me on Facebook. It's just my name, Cassandra Sneed, nothing major. And I am typing in really quickly my Instagram. I'm trying to get better about Instagram. My daughter says Instagram is for the more young people. Facebook is for older people. So I'm trying to prove her wrong. So I am trying to focus more on my Instagram. So I am putting in my Instagram. Bear with me here.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to mention too, this episode of Office Hours with Lanora spoke to Miss Cassandra Sneed herself on becoming a top producer and some of the things that she's done and what she's engaged and involved in. My takeaway from this is to be active, as well as to make sure that you're pouring into you, as well as your clients, your day.
Absolutely.
Make sure your energy is always high. I've never seen this lady upset. I mean, never. She is genuinely who she is. She shows up and she commands the room. And I bless everybody with that same gift as well.
Yeah.
You know, at the Realtors Real Estate School, we do just that. We are a support system. We are a resource. I am a support system and a resource.
Yeah.
So if you're considering a career in real estate, remember classes are starting soon, as I always tell you. And we are going back in person into our classrooms starting July 12th. So the Realtors Real Estate School / the Chicago Association of Realtors, we will be back in the building. So we look forward to a broker class starting July 12th, which is Monday through Friday for 2 weeks, 9 a.m. to 4:30. Saturday, July 10th, we will still operate in a virtual Zoom environment with our Saturday sessions, 9 a.m. to 4:30.
Okay.
And at the end of this month, on July 28th and 29th, our residential leasing agent Zoom will take place on those 2 days. So you know what to do. Schedule a time with me through my Calendly account, and the link is in the bio there in the chat. So let's reach out to each other. Let's talk about your options. Let's answer any questions. And to the people like Cassandra and myself that are already licensed, let's talk about CE and get you ready to be compliant. So the big deadline is coming up at the end of this year. If you have not taken your Code of Ethics course, the National Association of Realtors requires that to be done by December 31st of this year. So let's chat, let's talk about it, let's get it done. Cassandra.
Yes.
I love you, chick. Thank you
I love you
so much.
Thank you so
take
much.
Take the rest of the day on me, okay?
Okay, I got you. Remember you said that now.
That's all for now, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.